Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 2025 FIDE Grand Swiss. This is exactly what it sounds like. It's a Grand Swiss tournament, 11 rounds, and the top two finishers will make it to the candidates tournament. In this recap today, for round number 2, we've got a lot of the Indian stars, including Pragg, including Gukesh, the world champ, including Erigaisi, including Nihal Sarin. And so on that note, friendly reminder, I will be playing in Team USA versus Team India. That's actually in a month. It's October 4th in Texas. I keep saying Dallas, Texas. It's in Arlington. I will put a link in the description to get a ticket. If you use my link, I don't know if you get some sort of discount still, but if anything, I think directly the person who sends you gets a small cut of it. So if you get it through my link, thank you. If not, all good. But USA-India is happening in a month. I'm super pumped. I'll be playing against Sagar Shah. Gukesh will be playing against Hikaru. Fabiano Caruana will play Erigaisi, and so on and so forth. The teams are super stacked. Divya versus Carissa Yip, and Ethan Vaz versus Tani Adewumi. And on that note, let's kick off the recap today. My guy, Pragg. Pragg just cannot stop playing games that were perfect. He played a brilliant game against Gukesh recently. I featured it in one of the recaps where I said he beat Gukesh with 100% accuracy. And today he basically did the exact same thing. He is playing a young man from Russia named Ivan Zemlyansky. I like his name because it means earth. And it's just Zemlya, earth. So he is Ivan of the earth as opposed to being an alien. We have an English. We have an immediate d5. Generally, black is playing this. If black is then going to put the knight here, g6, bishop g7, and generally c5. This is basically black saying, I play the Grunfeld defense, even if you don't play the move d4. So it takes knight d5, and now there are many moves. Here I like to play knight f3. And now in this position, if black plays g6, there's a very nice idea to play h4, h5 immediately. We won't know if that was Pragg's idea, because Ivan plays the move c5. And now Pragg plays g3. So he clearly shows that this was his point, just to put the bishop on g2, just to get a game. Black plays the move g6 anyway. Not knight c6, he plays g6. And now Pragg plays queen b3 after 10 minutes. 10 minutes of thought. I don't really know why. Like, I don't think he forgot his preparation. Maybe he was trying to play some sort of mind games, or maybe he just, he wanted to get a game and he wanted to take his opponent out of the comfort zone. Now here, Ivan plays knight b4. It's the best move. It's the best move. Black has ideas like knight c6, knight d4, bishop e6, bishop f5, just general queenside play. The move a3 is well met with bishop e6, right? So, knight to e4. And, at this point, black goes here and simply gives away the pawn, which he takes. I'm clearly allergic to free pawns. And Pragg is simply up a pawn, but down some 30 minutes on the clock. And that is what makes classical chess a little bit difficult to commentate live. It's like, how do you explain to a noob at home why white is spending 19 minutes and 50 seconds taking a free pawn? And now black can play queen a5 or bring the knight out to c6, and he plays this move. Pragg goes here and basically is like, look, I'm going to consolidate my queen. I'm going to get my queen back, and I'm going to be a pawn up. And the onus is on black. Now, the computer is evaluating black as slightly better. That is a difficult evaluation, given the fact that, Pragg is up a point. You also might be wondering, how is the game perfect if black is slightly better? Perfect from a practical standpoint and very close to 100% accurate at the end of the game. The knight is hanging. Pragg goes here. Black attacks the knight again. The knight now slides back. It's quite clear that black has a lead in development. Black has a lot of pressure on the white position, but ultimately, if Pragg is able to consolidate, he will be better. Queen a6, already a mistake. Like I said, the best move was queen to a4, walking into a pin. And then there was a ridiculous line, queen a4, a3, bishop e6, counterattack. You take, attacking the queen. Take, here, rook a3, here, b5, knight to d4, knight d4, bishop g2, rook g1, bishop d5. And basically at this point, you need to just admit that somehow black is fine. And here, black has to find the move a5, the only move not to be worse. So shame on Ivan for not calculating 20 moves into the future and seeing this line. Yeah, that is literally the only way. Instead, he goes here. Pragg very quickly begins consolidating. And at this point, black is still down a pawn. Black is still putting white under pressure, but it's really difficult, honestly. Like, it's really difficult to prove the compensation of being a pawn down. And just like against Gukesh, Pragg is going to consolidate. F3, bishop e6, rook c1, take. And, you know, black is just trying to be active. He's like, well, I'm attacking this pawn and I'm pressuring here and everything. But now white has the two bishops and the pawn up. King f2, excellent move from Pragg, who gives up the pawn. He's given up one of the pawns now. But he's going to grind out this endgame. The bishop is going to leave. Pragg is going to play like this. Pragg has enough practice playing against Magnus Carlsen. You forgot about him probably. He hasn't played chess in a little while. He hasn't been covered on the Gotham channel in maybe a week. That might be a record. F4, rook d8, and just Pragg is just going to improve the position. He's just going to massage the position, improve it, kicking out the bishop. Excellent centralization. Defending. Bishop came out. Maybe ideas like f5 to chip away at the position as well. Black plays rook c7 and misses a tactic. Hidden in this whole position is this move. What's the idea? Takes. And if this, you hang this. And if rook c5, there is b4. And Pragg wins. Just a completely seamless positional game. Pragg's rating is now... Pragg's rating is 2,785.5. Because he drew in the first round, lost a little bit of rating. Pragg is 3.5 rating points away from being the number 3 ranked player in the world. And Pragg obviously has a tight grip on the circuit to make the candidates, but he's also off to a great start, winning in the second round after drawing in the first round. Now I've got more games for you. We're going to Gukesh. Friendly reminder, Hikaru Gukesh, USA versus India, October the 4th in Texas. Get a ticket. I'll put it in the description. D4, D5. This is a very exciting game. Why is this an exciting game? This is the world champion versus a potential future world champion. Erdoğan is one of the strongest prodigies in the world. Shout out to Turkish chess. C3 is a huge sideline. C3 is it's basically an indication that white wants to play the London, but he wants to take out the sting of some of the lines with C5. Except not at all, because Gukesh plays the Trompowsky. So he plays a Trompowsky attack. Black goes C6 after 10 minutes of thinking, by the way. Super strange. Now, Queen C2. Another ridiculously strange move, allowing black to jump in and attack the bishop. And the craziest thing about this position is that here, by the way, Erdoğan spent another 7 minutes. The best move for black here is to play G5. Like, the thing is with white, when you play a little bit weird, sometimes the punishment coming your way is very vicious, okay? And G5 is an extremely powerful counterattacking move. But bishop f5 is also very reasonable. In this game, Gukesh plays this very nice move f3, and now he's going to get a pawn avalanche. Black kind of gets caught. And now this is excellent from Gukesh, understanding the critical points of the game. H4, G4. I know it looks completely absurd. Don't try this at home or at work or on the train if that's where you play chess on your phone. And Gukesh with bishop G2, with H5, with E4, just launching all the pawns forward at the young man from Turkey, who strikes back with A5, trying to go A4, but it's the wrong approach. And now Gukesh shuts down that side of the board as well. So it's just a matter of time. Like, all the forward momentum in this game is from the world champion. So let's see how he does it. He trades the knight, kicks out that knight, and marches the pawn into the position, pushing the knight to the back rank. This is like a boxer on the ropes. Erdoğan is all the way back. All the way. Gukesh walking down, throwing haymakers to the body, to the head, repositioning the bishop. Now it's a slow game, f4. I mean, like I said, every pawn is going forward. Black has nothing here. Black is kind of peeking with this move. Maybe he's going to get a Gukesh trading off the only active piece that Black has. And f5. I mean, just a beautiful game. An incredible game. Pawn takes a4. Rook takes a4. c5. And Gukesh is just playing like a machine. Knight b6, nice little trick. Rook a2. Dogmas gets the knight to c4, but white is totally winning. Knight to f4. Okay, pawn takes c6 is fine. Now knight to f4. And now you have many approaches here. None of them look completely winning. Like rook f1, rook f7, knight g6 looks quite clean. Gukesh is almost spoiled for choice. Getting in on a1, and honestly, even in some positions, sacrificing the rook could be an idea. Getting rid of this knight, obviously always an idea, like a knight g2, knight e3 reroute. Gukesh goes here, fine. King here, rook f1, knight g6, all part of the game plan. Knight g6 here. King c2 is a little bit crazy, though, because it allows the bishop to get active. Whereas if Gukesh had played knight g6 straight away, well, that would be really nice. There would be no bishop to e7, because after rook f7 and bishop g5, you would simply take and put the knight here, and you'd be totally winning. So I'm not exactly sure what Gukesh saw or didn't see, but 10 minutes to 1, Erdogmas begins just giving up material and going for some counterplay. And Gukesh is still totally winning. King to d7, knight back to f4 here wins the game. It's a winning move. He plays it. Rook f8. And now you have to find rook to g1. And if Gukesh finds this move, the game is probably over. The point is that if black were to take on g5, you would take on g6. So rook g1, bishop g5, which happens in the game. Now you take on d5, right? g6 is also hanging. You take on d5, and you are winning, because after knight takes d5, if like rook f2 comes in, king here, rook b8, you just take the knight, and this is a totally winning position. You have 3 connected pawns and a 4th one. Now, the craziest thing is, all of this happens. And now, 40th move, right before the time control, Gukesh has to find knight to f6. If bishop f6, knight f6, bishop f6, bishop h6. This bishop still hangs, rook here. That's not easy. It's much more natural to look at that move. And Gukesh misses it. And all of a sudden, the position is equal. Rook f6, a haymaker, sacrificing the rook not to win the game, but to get into e2. And the reason the king can't run is because of a4 check. And if you take it, it's mate. Erdogmas used literally all he had, and the game ends in a draw. The young man from Turkey holding the world champion to a clutch draw from a position he did not have any business drawing. He was being hunted down for 25 moves of this game. Very nice job from him. This will boost his confidence a lot. And Gukesh is generally very clutch. He's very clutch down the stretch of games. So a little shocking to see, but the good news is that he still has 1.5. Now, a guy that is having an excellent start to this tournament is Anton Demchenko. Anton Demchenko. The thing about the Grand Swiss is I'm going to be showing you players you might have never heard of before. Now, Sam Shankland, you have heard of before. Maybe you haven't, but Sam Shankland, very, very strong American Grandmaster, been 2,700. Demchenko, Russian Grandmaster. I know that he now plays for Slovenia, right? Yeah, Slovenia. But that's a result of the war, and I mean, a lot of Grandmasters since left, and to Slovenia, to Italy, to Austria, you know. F3, knight c6, queen e2, knight a5, right? h5, just attacking on the queen side. h6, g4, attacking, long castle, rook c8, typical Sicilian game. Very nice idea from Shankland. Common sacrifice in the Sicilian defense on the c3 square, giving up the rook. Not really going to get into, like, again, I want to focus on some of the players that are likely in contention for a top 5 spot, and we don't know yet. It's been, 9 rounds. But Demchenko in this game, beautiful game. And just ripping open the position. Shanklin counterattacking on the queen side with knight c3 ideas. But this is not just defense, this is offense. h7, hg, taking on g5, etc. And Sam's king torn apart. Queen a1 is mate, but not if I check you first. You have to go here. I take, rook f7, and now pawn to e5. This is absolutely vicious. Cutting the communication. Rook g5 is next. Taking something on d5 is next. Queen e8 is next. Everything is next. And so when the dust settled, Demchenko simply had a winning endgame. Bishop b2. He trades everything off. This is game over because you cut the king off as well. The king doesn't get closer. Rook f1 is a very instructive move. A lot of you here would be tempted to run the king. That is also winning. This is ruthless. It's ruthless because you just never let the black king get closer. And you keep the king as far away as possible. You then have to show a little bit of technique here to win this position, but this is winning. King c7. You take the pawn. Demchenko's 2-0. In the first round, he beat Hare Krishna, 2,700 from India. It's 2-0. Huge. I got more games for you. Firouzja starting the tournament very, very nicely with back-to-back victories in this game against Maxim Rachstein. He played a Slav defense. It was bishop g4, which is a very provocative line, allowing white to come forward toward you. But he equalized very nicely from the opening. And this is a kind of game where Firouzja thrives. White has the center, trying to put a little bit of pressure on black. Firouzja gets to play in a creative way defensively. And then obviously, you know, the second you give him a chance, which Maxim didn't do for quite some time until he played rook a4, c5. And the black position comes alive now. The bishops are going to come into the game. The knights are going to come into the game. And down the stretch in a time scramble, even an over-the-board time scramble, he is simply a monster. White hangs on for quite some time, but the bishops come in. I told you. The knights are going to come in. The bishops are going to reposition. And Firouzja is going to get, I think, one more chance right here. He takes it. It looks like there is something, but it's actually the white king that is going to get hunted out of the corner. Rook d2. a5 holds everything together. And now Firouzja is going to have a winning endgame by promoting his a-pawn, or checkmating the white king, or promoting the a-pawn with rook b1, or just simply moving out of the way and promoting. Very nice game from Firouzja, who starts 2-0 after defeating Bassam Amin in the previous round. Another player we haven't featured yet is Vincent Keymer. We also haven't featured Jeffrey Xiong, although yesterday he drew against Prague. Vincent Keymer, a lot of eyes on him. He just broke into the top 10 in the world, and then he was knocked out of the top 10 because Wesley So had a really good tournament. Let's see whether Vincent Keymer can reclaim the position. He's playing a Queen's Gambit declined. Jeffrey Xiong, by the way, Jeffrey Xiong was like 27-20, I think. It's crazy to see him at 26-40. Plays the Tarrasch defense. Take. White is now going to play like with g3. Yep. Bishop a3, normal move, trying to not let the black bishop pin the knight. All of this is normal. Good preparation from Keymer. Good preparation from both players, actually. And here Jeffrey plays rook e3. Like, there are some openings where you got to make a huge commitment. In the Shanklin game, the commitment that Shanklin made was this one. He sacrificed the rook on the c3 square. Remember, it's part of the opening, so you sack the rook. And remember in the Prague game, Zemlyansky gave him a pawn. The problem with these openings where you commit, notice, every person that's committing is playing with black. Right? Every single person that committed anything. So in Prague's game, black gave up a pawn. In this game, black gave up a rook. In this game, black is giving up a rook. Do you see a pattern? Computers say it's fine. But as a human, it's not easy, right? And so now, you know, Vincent's like, I just have a rook. Like, maybe I'm going to give it away at some point. Like right now, maybe I'm going to give it away by taking a pawn. Knight f4, queen f4. Now I'm just up a pawn. So I kind of transform my advantage. By the way, now white is better. Now the computer's showing white is better. It was equal previously. So black doesn't handle the position perfectly. And Vincent now, by the way, consolidating. Connect 4. I know he had connect 8 to start the game, but you know, 4 like this on the third rank is very, very rare. Tactics, bishop takes h3. King takes, walks into queen h5, and bishop takes, walks into queen c2. Queen a4, very nice counter-attacking move, attacking the rook. And Vincent just goes to the endgame. Vincent, you know, you can't take this pawn because of rook d8. So what is white's advantage here? This is just white's advantage. Another advantage for white is the imbalance of these pawns, where you can walk the e-pawn in as a passer with the king. So it'll be e-pawn, king, and 2-on-1. So white is playing this for a win, right? He's just going to play this for a win. Let's see if Vincent can do it. There you go. That's what I said, right? That's what I said. Now, Jeffrey feels the pressure, tries to get tactical, force the king forward. It's working. Vincent's not playing this perfectly. Now we're in a rook endgame, but he still has the pawn majority, right? And Jeffrey's doing an excellent job defending. Excellent job. But apparently going here is a losing move. The winning move, sorry, the holding move was f6. You want to play f5 and get the pawn closer to promotion, but what this allows is this, and now the king gets here. Here, and the king can get to g5 whenever it wants. It can sort of dance. That's the real reason, right? King g5. Rook b5. Rook a8 and king g6 in here. He needed to keep the pawn on f6, keeping the white king away. And now this is simply lost. 2 pawns, you can't stop them both. And Vincent Keymer gets the job done. Defeats Jeffrey Xiong. Again, every time these players play this computer prep with black, it's so hard. They're all losing. All of them. Every single one of them lost with black. Like, obviously they're not losing because of the prep, but it's a huge commitment. Now, another completely ridiculous game. Martirosyan versus Erigaisi. Again, Erigaisi, USA versus India. It's going to be him versus Fabiano. I've been saying get a ticket if you're going to come by. If not, just mark the date. October 4th. I'm going to be playing for Team USA. I can't believe they got me. They had a lot of options. This is a King's Indian defense. Hey, remember Hikaru's Road to the Candidates and he was playing against people? Hikaru literally played this exact line. He played it with white. Isn't that funny? He played this against the 2 players that he played against. Don't you remember? No? Whatever. Just pretend you remember. Don't disappoint me. Obviously, Erigaisi plays it a little bit better. Or does he? Maybe not. G4, FG. Erigaisi plays chess like a lunatic. Erigaisi plays chess like okay. I will say it like this. Arjun Erigaisi plays chess like a person who likes to go on roller coasters and the seatbelt doesn't get fastened quite tight enough. You know, most people, like, you know, me, I used to ride roller coasters back in the day, and then I went on a zip line and I had a really bad experience, and since that day, I'm afraid of heights. Fun fact about me. But I've been on King the Ka, like, I've been on these crazy roller coasters, and, you know, you want it fastened as tight as possible, because in your mind, you're going to go up and fly. You're just going to, you know, you're going to fly and explode. Erigaisi is the kind of guy, he likes the seatbelt to be slightly unfastened. That's just how he likes to live his life. He plays ridiculous chess. He plays chess where he knows that at any given moment, he could lose. He could lose. Bishop back to c1, c6. He's worse this entire game, but he's up 30 minutes. He's a berserker. e5. Martirosyan's doing a great job hunting him down. Here's the problem. To beat Erigaisi, you have to have good nerves. You have to play fast. Right now, Martirosyan is showing he has pretty decent nerves, but he's not playing fast. Knight c5. And even though he's going to maintain an advantage throughout this game, and even at some point, right? Like at some point, he's going to get the advantage back because the position is so complicated. He's going to end up losing because he's not playing fast enough. Like at this point, you have to go rook d4. Your rooks are forked, right? You have to go rook d4. 2 rooks are sacrificed at the same time. If this one is taken, knight e4 with the pin goes knight f6. If takes, I don't even have to take the queen. I could straight up play bishop e4 and threaten checkmate. Bishop e4, queen d4 is check here, mate. Martirosyan can play a double rook sack. He goes here, though. And now Erigaisi is able to use the knight defensively with rook a7, and he finds it on the next move. And not only is he going to survive this game, in the King's Indian, you live and die by the sword. In the King's Indian, you don't make draws. And Erigaisi, like, this game deserves an hour analysis of its own. Thing is, people are going to watch this video, and they're going to be like, you didn't go into all the detail. Yeah, I know. I mean, the lines of this game are mind-bending. The King's Indian and the way Erigaisi plays chess is ridiculous. Like he's a lunatic. But he finds a way to get the job done. He has a ridiculous nervous system. I could never play chess like this. And ultimately, he's just straight up a knight. And he's also going to be up a bishop, and he's also going to hunt down the white king. Erigaisi wins. So Erigaisi gets a win. I think he drew in the first round. Yeah, he drew against Maxim Chagayev. By the way, Chagayev, Russian grandmaster, but now representing Spain. So all these guys are winning. Here we go, by the way. The fourth Indian player I'm showing you today. And, a lot of you are going to say something like it's because of the Indian audience. No, it's because all these dudes are 2,700 and they're contenders to win the tournament. Yesterday, Vidit won a nice game. Aram Hakobyan is Armenian grandmaster, but I think he lives in the United States. This one wasn't much to write home about, okay? This was, again, Nihal Sarin playing some crazy opening where, for reasons I absolutely cannot explain to you, in this position, he plays bishop b4 check. I don't know why he didn't just take and play boring. Like, that's what Hakobyan was trying to do. He goes here, baiting c3, and then goes back. So not only does he help his opponent build in the center, he allows his opponent to play queen b3. And now white is just better. Nihal also plays chess like a complete lunatic. h3, d6, castles h6. And now Nihal is like, well, my position's worse, knight h5. I'm gonna go here and try to trade and maybe try to get an attack going. These guys have such a calculated way of trying to play for a win. They all take such strategic risks. Queen to d1, because again, to be in one of these positions, you gotta take some, to win these games, you gotta take risk. Watch this, by the way. Remember how in the beginning of the game, Hakobyan played in a boring way, trying to kind of kill the game? Yo, he repeats the position. He offers a draw. Knight h5. Maybe he's going to go g4. Okay, no draw. No draw. But now Nihal gets this bishop idea to trade. And after that, he's going to get his knight to f4. Knight g5. Pawn takes. Knight f3, knight f4. There it is. Now, white is better. His bishop is good. His other bishop, rook, etc. All these pieces are good. But it's Nihal. Dude gives away a rook. What the How many rooks are getting sacrificed in this recap? In this game, there were 2 rooks sacrificed. In this game, there was 1. In this game, there was 1. That's 4. In this game, there was 5. In this game, there was 6, I think. No, 5. 5 rooks have been sacrificed in this recap. So it must be a record. Takes. Oh my gosh. Knight g2. Nihal Sarin, what are you doing? They're going to call the police on you, dude. Knight g2. Knight h2. He's ripping open the position. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. He took his rook, and Nihal didn't take the bishop. He took a pawn and another pawn. Nihal is just straight up down a rook. Straight up just down a rook. Knight h4. Bishop e3, and white is winning. Okay, bishop e2, fine, but g4 is coming. Yup, knight f3, queen g5. Rook d1, Nihal goes here. He's threatening knight f3, he's threatening queen e4, he's threatening queen g2. Queen c4, queen b5, best moves. Okay, a little bit passive. And obviously the idea was to defend mate like this. But this is losing. Because after takes, pawn takes, queen g6 is always a threat. Queen g6, and in general, this position is just lost for white. White doesn't have a way to get any more defense over here. It looks like queen c4 should do it, but then I go queen h7 back, and then I have enough time to bring my rook. And that's exactly what happens. Nihal Sarin is just straight up going to win this game. White cannot defend against the mate. Up a rook. Queen h5, you can't go here. It's protected. f5! Kicking away the queen. King h7 to get out of the way. Rook e6 and rook h8 both come in with huge threats. Queen g5, queen h6, rook. Oh my goodness. And the only way to survive for Aram is to give up the queen. Nihal Sarin should have taken a bow for this game. This is one of the most brilliant games I've ever seen. Yo, he played in a deliberately provocative fashion in the opening. This is Mikhail Tal level. This is breathtaking. And to think, this is in the 29th minute of the recap, only like a small percentage of you are getting to watch this game. Most people left. Isn't that crazy? Maybe I'll make a separate video about this game. This is breathtaking. To understand how much time he had to just improve the... He's down a rook, and he's not panicking. Breathtaking. Nihal Sarin, God bless you, brother. I hope you get to 2,800, because you are a genius. This is genius chess. Like, Erigaisi is a psycho, right? Like, and I love it. He's like the Joker. I mean, he's crazy. You know, you got Pragg, consistent, smart, clever, Gukesh, fighter. He's a dog. Like, he's... Nihal Sarin might just be straight up a genius. Think about that for Indian chess moving forward. And now in the women's side, okay, this one jumped ahead for some reason. There is a spoiler in there, but actually the recap of this game is going to be, and by the way, 5 Indian players in this recap. The women's side has had like 11 upsets, but this was a crazy game. This was board 2. Now, Eline Robers is really good, but something went wrong today, because in this game, she played a Spanish. Vaishali played some candidates preparation. White played d4 and then took with the knight, which was a shock, because I thought pawn takes is by far the more natural move, but okay, knight takes. And clearly she was playing on her own, which in this position, if you're playing on your own, you got a castle. And instead she went here, and Vaishali struck back. And the side that's striking back while castled is going to have a lot more fun. And now it's too late to close the position. Black is going to rip everything apart. Knight f5, you will now not castle. And Vaishali doesn't just take, she follows up with d5, a thunderous haymaker. The next set of pieces is getting into the game. White's king is in the middle, and it's already lost. Bishop b3, knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes. Even though you can trade off the queen, it is still a losing position for black, for white. Bishop d5, king h8. And Vaishali hunts her opponent's king and literally checkmates it in 20 moves. Well, if Vaishali plays like that, she's going to get 11 out of 11. So that's crazy. That was a completely crazy game. There was a couple of other crazy games, but a lot of the top boards on the women's side were drawn. Bibisara drew, Firouzja versus Senya drew, board 4 drew, and then here Gal Joka, who yesterday defeated Muzuchuk, she ended up losing. So we have, I mean, it's all over the place over here. I mean, a lot of the young players are winning and drawing and getting to the top. So the winner of the women's candidates is going to be like 15 years old. I mean, a lot of these players are super young, but super strong. So it will be very cool to see. That's all I have for you today. Friendly reminder, leaderboards drop on Chessly in just a couple of days. Chessly.com/leaderboards. Check it out on your homepage. You can also try Chessly for free without a card. And USA versus India. All right, I'm going to go watch Djokovic Alcaraz. Get out of here.